Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and I hope that this video finds you well. Let's get right into it. Ouchie Fauci. Why did he get a preemptive pardon if he's such a great hero? If he loves the American people and only wants to keep them safe and healthy? Why did he get a blanket pardon that goes back over a decade? Well, our new director of national intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, dropped an absolute bombshell during an interview this week with Megyn Kelly, and former NIH director Anthony Fauci should be worried about what Tulsi Gabbard had to say. Ladies and gentlemen, before we continue, today's sponsor is Mike Lindell with his companies My Store and My Pillow. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Lindell is running for governor of Minnesota. His team reached out to me a few days ago and said they need your help. When you use promo code ANN, all the proceeds go to his campaign race. He is self-funded, he is self-backed, and he is going against the Democrat machine. He needs our help, our prayers, and our financial assistance. When you go to my store or mypillow.com and use promo code ANN, you support the channel, you support his campaign, and right there at the bottom of the screen, it says free gift. You will also, besides the fact that you're going to get a huge discount, you're going to get a free gift from Mike himself. So go to my store or mypillow.com/ANN. Use that promo code. Help him out. Support Patriot Mike. Let's continue. Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard dropped a bombshell during an interview this week with Megyn Kelly. And former NIH Director Anthony Fauci should be worried. Let's watch this clip together, ladies and gentlemen.
Reversed. So it's a lot of what's been found is already there. But the thing that we are working with Jay Bhattacharya, the new NIH director, on with, as well as Secretary Kennedy, is looking at the gain of function research that, in the case of the Wuhan lab, as well as many of these other biolabs around the world, was actually U.S. funded and leads to this dangerous kind of research that, in many examples, has resulted in either a pandemic or some other major health crisis.
Well, let me ask you specifically, because
So she said that they now have evidence that we funded these labs, American taxpayer dollars, with Fauci's help. And she's about to get into the biolabs in Ukraine and other stuff.
already know that EcoHealth Alliance was partnering with this Wuhan lab to do gain of function research.
That's right.
We just have never been able to have somebody say, it was that exact experiment that led to this COVID bug. But have we gotten there? What's the new thing that you're digging in on?
We are working on that with Jay Bhattacharya, and look forward to being able to share that hopefully very soon.
Okay.
That specific
link,
correct, between the gain of function research and what we saw with COVID-19.
I mean, that would be extraordinary, because just so the audience knows, if that's true, if it was Peter Daszak's research with the Wuhan so-called bat lady that caused this pandemic, then we did fund it. Then Anthony Fauci helped fund the pandemic.
The thing that he denied over and over and over to Senator Rand Paul's questioning.
That's right. Under oath.
Under oath, exactly. So is it any wonder that he sought a preemptive pardon for anything during a certain period of time by President Biden before he left office?
And then strong-armed and smeared people like Dr. Jay Bhattacharya, anybody who came out and said, I don't know if that's natural. This actually smacks of lab.
And the reason why this is so important is not just what happened in the past. It's because this gain of function research is happening in biolabs around the world. I got attacked, and I think you saw this. We've probably talked about it on your show before, when I warned against US-funded biolabs in Ukraine when the Russia-Ukraine war kicked off, for this very reason. Who knows what kinds of pathogens are in these labs, and if released could create another COVID-like pandemic. And for that, I was called a Russian asset. You're, trumpeting Putin's talking points, all of this nonsense, simply for speaking the truth and stating facts that, by the way, are still on U.S. Embassy Ukraine's website today. about how the U.S. has funded these biolabs in Ukraine. But in order to, my point is, in order to prevent another COVID-like pandemic or another major health incident that could affect us in the world, we have to end this gain of function research and provide the evidence that shows exactly why and how it's in our best interest, the American people's best interest, to bring about an end to it.
So, ladies and gentlemen, Tulsi Gabbard admits that now they have all the evidence, they have the proof. And when Russia first invaded and said there are biolabs all over the country of Ukraine, everyone's like, oh, Russian propaganda. But then Victoria Nuland sat when it became under oath in front of Senate and was asked directly to her face by Republican senators, does America have biolabs in Ukraine? And she's like, we don't have biolabs. We have labs, but they're not biolabs. They're anti-biolabs. Here's the thing. Let's imagine this is a COVID. This is the COVID disease in a bottle. In order for me to develop an anti-COVID medicine or something, I need to have this so that I can test against it. So whenever they tell you we don't have biological weapons there, we're working on anti-biological weapons, they're lying to you, because you can't work on an anti-virus unless you have the virus itself there to test on. See, America is supposed to be the beacon of light and the greatest nation in the world. But I think the Democrat Party and most of the rhinos in DC make North Korea, Kim Jong-un dictator, even Zelensky, look like good guys. Who's worse? The bad guy who says, I'm a bad guy, so? Or the bad guy that pretends to be the good guy? The guy who pretends is worse than the guy who doesn't pretend. Ladies and gentlemen, and this is why I say a Democrat is better than a rhino, because the Democrat's going to tell you, I hate you. I hate your freedom. I hate freedom of speech. I hate the Second Amendment. I want an open border. That's what I believe in. I stand with MS-13. Democrat is going to tell you to your face. But a rhino is going to say, I want secure borders. No, they don't. I don't want to go to war with anybody. Yes, they do. See, they're lying to your face. They're putting on a smile, putting on a mask, so to say. Let's see. I really, really hope, as of right now, there are 19 attorney generals across this nation fighting to go and have Fauci's pardons flipped and have him be held accountable for crimes against humanity. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, God bless you. Stay tuned. Give the video a thumbs up. See you soon.